Hey guys, good morning. I wanted to talk a little bit today about this story that I saw on The Clutch, which is an online news and magazine site geared towards African American women. So the story was a race issue. Basically, these two contestants that were auditioning for the show The Bachelor were suing the TV show because they said that there was racial discrimination, that the white contestants were getting more time in the audition, and that they were being treated better. And, they also cited the fact that in the 32 seasons combined of both The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, there has not been a single African American contestant as either The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. And they're saying it's racist and all that. So they sued the TV show company, and the judge actually dismissed the case, saying that the court can't control what is on TV. It's a First Amendment issue. They have a right to put out there whatever they want because it's freedom of speech. So obviously this is a little controversial, and I think it's really interesting just because I can kind of see the validity of both sides. I can see where people are upset that the show is being racist, that they're not showcasing a variety of races, and, according to these people, the audition process is racist and they intentionally exclude people of color. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that, you should treat people differently because of the color of their skin, because of their race. I feel like on anything, everyone should be given a fair shot. And, it is a little unfair. I could see where they would be frustrated. But it is hard to prove racial discrimination, just like it's hard to prove sex discrimination. Discrimination can be hard to prove in general. Unless they actually timed how long each person was in the audition and their race and everything, it would be kind of hard to prove that the white contestants are being treated better. And also because you're not in the audition with everyone, you're only in your own audition. You just see the person walk in and walk out. And, someone could have a shorter audition that does happen to be of color just because it didn't go as well, and it could have nothing to do with their skin color. But I don't know. But at the same time, this is a TV show owned by a company, so should they be able to do what they see fit? If they don't want to put a person of color on TV, if they are being racist, should they be allowed to be? Because the TV show is not funded or produced through the government. It's not federally funded. So should that be allowed then? It's such a hard thing to say yes or no, because normally I think I would say, absolutely not. Discrimination is wrong and all of that stuff. But I can see where the judge is right in that it's freedom of speech, and that with that, if you're making your own TV show, you should be able to put on your TV show who you want to put on it, You shouldn't be forced to have, an African American bachelor or bachelorette on the show if that's not what you want to do. And that's a very libertarian perspective on things. But I also see where my own prejudice kind of comes into this, because if this scenario had to do with sex discrimination, if there was a show that wasn't putting women on, I think I would be on the other side. I think I would say this is wrong, and we are perpetuating sexism by having women not be visible in the media or in this particular show. And I think because it's race, and because this is an issue I deal with, because I'm white, it's a little easier for me to dismiss it and say, oh, obviously that's not an issue, and they should be able to do whatever they want because of freedom of speech. And I just read this really interesting book, actually, called Only Words by Catherine McKinnon, who's a very famous feminist figure. And it was really, really, really good. And she was making the argument that pornography should not be protected under freedom of speech, and that because it perpetuates sexism, that ultimately that does more harm than good. And it shouldn't be protected also because it turns, fake sex or simulated sex into real sex acts, especially when we're talking about like rape and things like that we're seeing in pornography. So it's really interesting, but she also kind of touched on some of the racial laws that go along with this, that basically are not protected under the First Amendment because it's seen as wrong. Like if, okay, for example, if you call someone a nigger at work, that is not at all protected as freedom of speech because it's seen as obscene and perpetuative racism, and also can damage the workplace environment and create a hostile environment. Now, at this point, this book was written in the 90s. Sexual harassment wasn't really taken seriously in the court, and the same type of comments directed towards someone's sex was not seen as obscene or creating a hostile work environment. And obviously things have changed since then, which is awesome that in 20 years, things have turned around. But I think it's definitely still an issue, and the race stuff is taken, I think, a little bit more seriously than issues of sex discrimination. So, I don't know, just kind of some interesting things to think about. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this, and I will see you later this week, probably, for another video. Bye.